Hello guys and welcome to another battle. We've actually got 3 today. I wanted to make Belly Drum Darmanitan a thing. What I wanted to do is make it viable in a team that could actually do well, and I'll show you my results. It's not too bad. The only thing is that it relies on the surprise factor. So I have to make my opponent believe that it's a choice scarfed Darmanitan and not a belly drum in order for me to get a first turn. In order for me to get 1 turn for the sweep. So this is actually against a Suicune, so you think I would lose here, but I do fairly well. So he leads off with his Suicune, and I lead off with Slowking. I'm just gonna go for the Scald. I get the burn right off the bat, which is really cool. And I go out into my Darmanitan on the Roar, which sucks, so I have to get out of here. Gonna go to Empoleon because I can set up rocks. And I actually don't have Roar in this one, but I'm gonna bluff it. And if it ever gets dicey, I can just go to Dragalge and go for the Dragon Tail. I'm just gonna go for the rocks right here. And now he has this Easy Bake Oven. I'm gonna stay in because I hate to be on the other end of the momentum. So I'm just gonna stay in and go for the Scald. Hopefully getting a burn on something. And turns out I get a burn on this fairy. So, which is awesome. It's withered down somewhat. I can switch into my Darmanitan right here on the Aromatherapy. And he's gonna what Florges does with Darmanitan is they protect, which is great because they want to know if you're going for the U-turn or the Flare Blitz. So I just get to go for the Belly Drum right here, thinking he might Moonblast. I didn't know if he knew my team or not. But I'm gonna sub right here to get my Slackberry and actually be behind the sub. And I'm running Earthquake for coverage move and Fire Punch for my stab. And the Fire Punch actually does a lot of damage to this thing. So that's great. And now he sends out Suicune, and it's low enough where I can KO with Earthquake, which is awesome. And he sends out Salamence right here, which should be faster than me if it's a Scarf, and it is. But I can just kill it with Fire Punch, which is great. Now he can send out his Crocodile, which can lower my attack, but it won't matter, even if he kept switching in and out of it. There's no way he could have won the game. And I'm just going to go for the Fire Punch to take it out right there. Sends out his Fairy. Same thing, same story, same song, same ending. Alright, and we've got these nuts. And I'm just going to Fire Punch that too. Alright. So this was my first game with it, so that was pretty cool, and I'm glad I bumped into Island Herbs because he's a friend and a fan, so that's cool. I'm gonna go into my next one. This is actually my second battle with this team, and I leave Slowking because usually I'm in a bad position and only Slowking can relieve me of these situations. So he said he got a Reptile team, and if you look at it, it's pretty much all Reptile, and he's got an Arbok, which is weird. Anyway, that's Specs damage, and I calc that. I'm like, okay, you're Specs. And now he's got his Feraligatr right here, and he's going to go for this Crit Crunch, which sucks. And I didn't want him setting up or anything without me possibly burning him. So since he got the crit, I got the burn, which is great trade-off for me. Actually, it's more beneficial to me since I can just switch out and get Regenerator. Now I go into Empoleon, I can take hits and also get rid of these rocks. So that burn really put me in a great position. And so he goes out to Heliolisk right here. If I'm not mistaken, no, I think I go out to Dragalge right here. Nope, I actually take it, and do I go for this? I go for the rocks. And now I don't want this Gecko to set up a sub or anything, so I'm just gonna keep going for these Ice Beams as he goes for an Earthquake, so it shows me he's physical. Now I'm gonna go out to Darmanitan and bluff my Scarf, and he's not gonna stay in. So he gets that Intimidate off. I'm gonna go for the sub. And what Belly Drum does, it brings your attack to full. It doesn't give you +6, it just gives you all your attack. So I get all my attack and get the Slackberry. And he goes for the Defog, which was a terrible decision on his part. But I don't know if he would be able to break my sub. So I go for this Fire Punch and actually take out a bulky Mence, which is awesome. He sent out this thing, which is questionable, and I see why. It's because he has the Rocky Helmet. So that was a little scary. I hate Alomolas because they usually carry Rocky Helmet. Now actually goes for the Sucker Punch with the Arbok. And I get to take it out with an Earthquake, and the rest of his team pretty much gets cleaned up from this after I outspeed this Gecko. So that was a good game. I'm going to go on to the very next one, we've got Dragalge as my lead against this Darmanitan. I don't like this because he's probably going to Earthquake, so I'm just going to go to my Egyptian dog. I'm not going to explain these nicknames. I'm just going to go for the Scald right here, hopefully getting a burn on something. I do not get a burn on this Machamp, so I kind of have to play around it. He's probably going to go for the knockoff, so I'm going to make a risky prediction right here and go out into my Penguin. And I get my attack boost but lose my life orb, so it's I'm just going to try taking it out with close combat. I think he was predicting me to over-predict to the Trevenant because I can't do anything against that Trevenant. I don't think I'm going to stand against this Arcanine, so I'm going to go back out to my Slowking as I can pretty much take everything, even a Wild Charge, fairly well. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which Will-O-Wisp offensive Arcanine is so annoying. I used to use it all the time when I was a little more noob-like. And now we've got this sad situation. I have to switch out, and I don't really have much switches. I have Empoleon against Empoleon, which is a sad Scald War, and he knows that, so he's got to switch out, thank goodness. I'm going to Scald, hopefully getting a burn on the switch, and now I'm probably going to defog as he goes for the Earthquake, which is abnormal. That's okay. My dying wish is to get these rocks up, so I'm going to get these rocks up, and he's going to go for the Earthquake. This is my third battle with this team, by the way. And now I go to Dragalge, trying to fake out for him to go into something else, like the Empoleon. It doesn't happen, so I'm going to go out to Darmanitan right here and bluff the attack. And I'm just going to go straight for the belly jump, thinking he might go into his Arcanine. And I don't have my Slackberry, I didn't have to set up the sub, and he goes for this weak extreme speed, and I get to go for the Earthquake and take him out. So I'm looking like I'm in a really good position, except if this Darmanitan is Scarf, then I'm doing a speed tie, and I win that speed tie, which is great. And he decides to forfeit because I outspeed that Aerodactyl and kill the rest of his team. So that was great. And we're going to do one more. This is actually my 5th battle, but my 4th battle I lost. And I lead off with a good position. I can just go for this Ice Beam right here. I don't want him setting up sub or anything because sub Sceptile is really, really annoying. Now I'm going to go for the Skull, predicting him not to stay in, and I actually get damage off on this Entei, which is great because it's stopping me from getting my Darmanitan sweep, which is always the goal. When you build a team around something, you want to play around to trying to get that thing to sweep because you built around that team in that specific order, and that's what you want. So what's different about my team? I did some trial and error. I'm pretty weak to Crocodile and Ground, so I switched my Lucario to a Swords Dancing defensive Chestnut, which isn't actually too bad. I haven't gotten to test it out too much. Basically it's standard Chestnut except with Swords Dance instead of Spikes, so I can beat like Snorlax and stuff. He goes for the sub right here, which is fine because I had that Ice Beam, and he goes for the Focus Blast, and it does a lot, so I think that's modest, if I'm not mistaken. I can always hope he misses so I can KO him, but he doesn't, which is okay. But again, we're against Darmanitan versus Sceptile, and he's got Empoleon, so I can just go for this sub, and then go for this belly drum. And it's just too easy. He goes for the Scald, and I get to go for this Fire Punch and take him out. It's clean. I didn't even have to go for the Earthquake. It's clean. You're not going to outspeed. It's clean. And he forfeits because I outspeed everything else. And I guess he could have played around with that Fortress, but by then my Sharpedo could have swept. So something doesn't sweep, the Sharpedo will. And that was a good game. Not really. Okay. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Much appreciated. Oh, and by the way, I'm not dead. The tornado disappeared. So that's good. And I'll catch you all later.